What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Dynomax mini race bullets in place of my mid mufflers on my 2017 Dodge Charger Scat Pack. I'll also go over why I chose this route instead of just doing a full muffler delete. I'm going to do a few sound clips now and then we'll talk about it. Before I get going, this isn't a cold start, but it still sounds nice. Oh, it's so nice when it's cold. Okay, so right now I have the windows completely open. I'm in street mode and I'm just cruising. Little pop, love that. As you see, I'm doing 30 miles per hour, about 1,000 RPMs, 1,200, just lightly accelerating. Car sounds stock, sounds great. Okay, now same scenario. Doing about 26, 27 miles per hour. I'm in track mode, so the valves are full open, which I don't care what anybody tells you. Under wide open throttle, it's the same whether you're in street, track, or sport. It's when you're going these speeds that track makes a difference because the valves are going to be open full time. So, doing 37 now. Windows are down. Sounds pretty cool, you know? It's got a nice little rumble to it, but it's not obnoxious by any means. And do a little downshifting for you. Get a nice little poppage. Love the pop. So, as you can see, cool. Now we'll have a little fun. So, here's where the magic happens. Awesome. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's like music. Let this turn, open up a little bit, drop it back into second, and here we go. Yeah, it's loud, but it sounds unbelievable. It just sounds unbelievable. Now, roll the windows up. Let's try that again. So, I'm gonna do the same thing. Windows up this time. That time they were down. So, if the wind noise was obnoxious, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to let you get a feel for what this sounds like. And of course, everybody wants to be out today. It's a Sunday. Labor Day weekend. Can't blame them. So, yeah, right, we'll go this way. So, windows are up. Not bad at all. And let's have some fun. And I just got every single person's attention over there, including that guy who just gave me a thumbs up. Can't really blame him. I really didn't even want to do that, but okay. So as you can see, it's quiet. It's not obnoxious at all. I'm gonna drop it back into street mode just so you can hear the difference with the windows up. And listen to that. It's stock. You don't even hear it. I mean, it sounds like the car is stock. It literally has a Jekyll and Hyde personality to it. It's phenomenal. So I'm going to just finish up this drive. I'm going to pull back in because I don't want to have this full conversation while I'm driving. It's better to pay attention to the road. So I'm going to pull back over, go back to my house, and I'll go over with you why I choose this route versus going with the true muffler delete, which it seems that a lot of people do and also love, and or why I didn't just go with a full out exhaust. All right, talk to you in a minute. Okay, I lied. Before I go back and talk about it, I need to let you guys hear one pass that's under an underpass because it's actually hysterical, and I'm gonna giggle like a little kid. So coming under the underpass now, windows down. Enjoy. It's so funny. It's actually hysterical. All right, goodbye. All right, guys, drive's over. So let me give you my review and my reasoning of why I went with the Dynomax 24-250 mini race bullets in place of my mid mufflers, as opposed to going with the straight pipe. So let me start by saying that I am, or I was throughout this process, insanely indecisive. I watched hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos, and thank you everybody who put videos up. You know, it did help make this decision, and that's why I'm doing one, because I'm hoping that I could help somebody that, you know, is going to be in the same boat as I was. I mean, I was doing it for 2 weeks straight, and it got to give me a headache. And I think the mid mufflers, I personally like them. I do. I don't dislike them, and I did see some very positive reviews for them and some very negative reviews for doing the full delete. And me personally, I thought I liked it. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. And I actually haven't had the opportunity to hear it in person, but from what I heard, I think if I did it, I don't think I'd be unhappy at all. So that's, I'm not knocking it, but everybody's taste is different. What I wasn't a huge fan of, and I guess I've went by from what I've heard in videos and listening to people talk, is it does have a bit of a raspiness to it, which, once again, I don't dislike it, but just being that this is an American muscle car, I wanted to retain some of that deep tone. So after just so much digging and reading and videos and you name it, I stumbled across replacing my mid mufflers with these Dynomax 24-250 mini race bullets. And then I was still going back and forth, that I figured, let me try the mid mufflers first. No, let me try the Dynomax first, and vice versa. Finally, I set up an appointment to do my mid mufflers, just a full delete. And 2 days away from the appointment, I ended up saying that I want to do the race bullets. So I did, and I ordered them through Amazon Prime so I could have them in 2 days and they could be there for the day of the install. And I'll tell you right now, I definitely didn't make a mistake. The good part of it is, I mean, when you're driving and you want them to be loud, it's loud. The best way I could describe it is if a NASCAR and a Harley Davidson had a baby, it would be my car. It sounds phenomenal. I don't have any complaints, and anybody who's heard the car, I mean, they all agree. A co-worker of mine, he's a gearhead like us. He's about 55 years old, and we left work the other night around the same time, and I did a little action leaving the parking lot, and he pulled up next to me at the light with his windows down, and he was almost crying. He was so excited. He was shaking, saying how cool the car sounded, and he was raving. And then the next day when I seen him at work, he was going nuts. So it does sound great. As far as drone goes, that was a big concern of mine. Some people don't care. I do. I don't want to have the car being, obnoxious when I'm trying for it not to be, especially inside the car after a long day of work. If I'm on a Bluetooth call, anything like that, I didn't want to have that be affected, and I could promise you it isn't. On my Challenger, I had a 5.7 6-speed Challenger, and I did a resonator delete, which I do hear that can produce more drone. I actually loved how that sounded too, but mind you, it was a 6-speed, so I didn't have MDS, and I didn't have to worry about that. On this car, obviously, we do have MDS, and I will say I took a trip, 350-mile trip, about 3 weeks ago from my meet up with some friends, and when I did, I have the taser, so I unlocked eco mode, and eco mode at about 80 miles per hour, when it ticked into MDS, and then you kind of press the gas to get it out of MDS, it produced a kind of a weird noise. It was only at that speed, and it was very easy to get around it, but that was probably the worst of it, and it's so rare that I'm ever in that situation that it's not enough to sway me. But that, if I had one complaint, that would be it. Cold starts, they're ridiculous. It sounds, I parked my car in my garage, and it sounds like a bomb's going off. And I don't thankfully I don't leave work at 5 or 6 a.m. leave for work at 5 or 6 a.m. I leave at about 8:30 in the morning. However, I still I'd like to be respectful to my neighbors. I know some people, whether you guys live with a good enough distance between them. My neighbor's house is only 40 feet away, 30 feet away, and I just don't want to be that guy. I just actually bought this house a couple of months ago, and I'm kind of new in the neighborhood. I just prefer to be respectful, so I actually remote start my car from my bedroom on the second floor with the garage door shut, and then I open it about 3 seconds later with the opener in my room, just to kind of muffle that initial noise. But let me tell you, it's pretty incredible. The other day, actually, my girlfriend, when I was getting ready for work, she was off that day, so she went to the other room, said I was being too noisy. Figures. So she was sleeping in the second bedroom, and I remote started my car, which the second bedroom is right above the garage. It's actually directly above the kitchen, which the garage goes to the kitchen, so she was very close to the car. And I remote started it, and within 5 seconds she came stomping in the room and said that I made a jump out of the bed. I was laughing. It was funny. She actually laughed about it, but yeah, guys, it's loud. So if you don't have a place to park it where you have some concern about neighbors at all, I could promise you in the morning it's going to be a problem, because it's loud. I personally think it sounds fantastic. It doesn't bother me. I actually love the noise, but like I said, just to be considerate, I keep the garage door closed just for that initial pop of the start, and then I open it up and let it air out. Obviously, I don't get in the car for another 2-3 minutes. So I wouldn't recommend remote starting your car with a shut garage door and leaving it there. The way my setup is, it works. Besides that, I mean, yeah, at wide open throttle, man, it's freaking awesome. It still does have a little bit of rasp. It's not perfect, but it definitely removes a lot of it, as opposed to just going with the straight pipe like a lot of people do. Now, a big question is, why did I go this route? Why didn't I just do a full exhaust or full catback from companies, Borla, Magnaflow, Zoomers? There are some great options out there. My reason was pretty simple. This car's exhaust is not a bad system from the factory as far as restrictions go for horsepower. So I wasn't going to spend $800, $900, $1,000, $1,500 for an exhaust it's really only giving me a sound advantage. As far as if it gave me 15 real horsepower, yeah, I'd consider the exhaust. But in my mind, it was all about sound. And this, if it sounds 85% as good, which I haven't heard any of those in person, but I can't imagine they sound better than this because I love it, I just couldn't justify it. So my thing was, I'm going to do the muffler delete, which, by the way, you shouldn't spend more than $150 to have this installed. I had a couple of shops quote me $250, and I laughed at them. So if you're okay with that, that's cool, but I wasn't, because I'm not a welder, but I know what's involved with doing this job. So I didn't bother going that route. My thing was, I spent $25 per bullet, so that was $50, and then $150 for the install, so for $200 I have a phenomenal sounding exhaust. And then that money that I saved, I could put into something that actually does add power, which I went with a Diablo Trinity and a custom tune from Hemi Fever with a cracked PCM, which I will promise you it was well worth the money. And if you guys want me to tell you about that a little bit, let me know. Drop it in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to make a video. I've never been a YouTube video maker before, but I've been an avid watcher, and I greatly appreciate all the work people put into them. I just never did it. So I guess the reason I started is I love this car, and it's a passion that I have, and I'd like to share it with people, and answer questions that I know I had. And sure, there are a ton of videos out there, but why not one more? I don't think it's gonna hurt anybody. So if I could help, like I said in my first video that I made, which was actually yesterday, if I can help one person, just one, make a difference, then I did my job. Because I like to be able to help, and I know what everybody's going through, because I know what I'm going through and went through making these decisions. So yeah, I put my money into the performance aspect of the car. I felt that was more important, which, not that the car's lacking there either, but if I'm going to spend some money, I want it to at least be where I feel is worth the money. And the tune, yeah, the tune was big. That was big. The car's running ridiculous. So if you guys have any questions about that, please feel free to ask, and I will be more than happy to make a little video about it and tell you my impressions, and show you some timers that I've done on the car. It's pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you, and I hope it helps you make a decision. Please, if you did like it, click like, subscribe. I'll make some more videos if you guys are interested. And until then, see you next time, and enjoy.